China still is a monster.
In a country that's tried to silence him,
Refuse very basic human rights.
Ai Weiwei is unlike other artists, perverting symbols of Chinese culture to demand it be reconsidered.
The future of China will affect the future of the world.
His name and work synonymous with freedom.
The people here still have no rights.
One of the world's most famous contemporary artists in one of the most secretive of countries. From the very start, Ai Weiwei's life mixed art and politics. His father was a well-known poet during Mao's Cultural Revolution.
He maybe thinks differently from the Communist Party.
Ai Weiwei's childhood was spent in a labor camp.
Particular moments which allow a voice to change the way that people think.
He's Beijing Andy Warhol.
He wants to shock you. When you see him drop a Neolithic pot, he's saying, I love the culture, but I want something new.
I think the most important media of our time is Twitter.
They call him Ai Shen online, I God. That's a very dangerous description in China.
Ai Weiwei had been gearing up for the fight that would define much of his art when an earthquake in western China devastated the lives of millions.
What the state-controlled media is not representing fully is the level of human suffering.
The death toll was massive. 90,000 dead, thousands of them children. Children crushed when over 7,000 schools were destroyed.
My baby, she says. Where's my baby? There are more of us in here, he says. More kids over here.
Just simply cannot write because it's devastating. I'm speechless.
A crying mother who can never have her son back. The grief is made even more so because of the country's one-child policy. In a tiny rural town of Wufu, more than 130 families lost their only child to a collapsed school building. Virtually every building in town survives the earthquake, except for the school. Parents question the quality of the material used to make the building. Anger has turned into despair. Distraught parents write their children's names on banner in blood, a symbol of how much has died within them. Exhausted parents can only protest in silence and tears, remembering the young lives ended even before they began.
A wall listing the names and ages of victims, some as young as 2 years old.
What inspired you to come up with this project?
5000多学生，对不对？你一口否认这个没有必要的，你得调查一下有没有豆腐渣工程。
Is he really allowed to say these things?
Are you worried?
Yes, I am worried.
We don't push this doesn't happen.
The sentence on the backpack is come from a letter of the earthquake survivors and the parents of this girl. Her name is Yang Xiaowan, and her mother said, we don't want anything else, but we want my daughter to be remembered. She had been happily living in this world for 7 years.
Police 40 of them rush into the hotel, and they beat me.
In April 2011, Weiwei went missing. The worldwide art community feared the worst. A massive international campaign followed his disappearance. Release demands, protests, sit-ins. Everyone wanted to know, where was Ai Weiwei?
China is a society. People are not trained to express themselves in the public.
Expressing himself is what Ai Weiwei does best.
I think I can use my own act to help people to understand this is possible.
To protect the dignity of life, the freedom of expression, the very essential human rights and universal values, that I become very heavily punished and sometimes damaged because of my act. That gradually become a symbolic meaning or gesture for young generation. They can clearly see how one person got involved and made the change.